Сейчас грузится.
Мгм. Сейчас другой ссылка, да, комната? Или, да, я так понимаю.
Да, другая ссылка на
Ага.
18 будет. Сейчас я ищу администратора.
Мгм. Извините, Ольга, вы это ссылка отправили, да, в чат? Или нет?
Сейчас, секунду.
Хорошо,
Сейчас, одну
хорошо,
секунду.
хорошо. Все.
Так, комната. Сейчас. Так, у нас там 28 человек. Супер.
Мгм.
Отлично. Так, сейчас устраиваю. Так, и отправляю ссылку на класс.
Мгм.
Можно проходить.
Ага. Да, это... мгм.
Я могу стартовать, да?
Да, секундочку, да.
Ага.
Секундочку. Да, готов. Мгм.
В эфире.
Мгм. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to our first lesson of this free IELTS crash course. We call it as the IELTS Booster. My name is Nash Akhtar. I'm an official IELTS administrator, a certified IELTS trainer, and also I'm the director of an official IELTS testing center in Eastern Europe. So we conduct the exam in Tashkent, in other parts of the Eastern European region. So that's about me. And also speaking about our organization, we are Master IELTS Online. We have prepared over 4,000 students to achieve very high scores in their first attempt. And actually, we have the most interactive online platform for IELTS preparation. And our aim has always been to prepare students effectively for an affordable rate. So the success of our preparation is proven by our students' results. So the results of our students, they speak for themselves. So as you can see, on average, our students they achieve 7.5. And the main aim today is to show that if you have a pre-intermediate, intermediate level, if you prepare effectively, you also can achieve a very high score in your first attempt. Now, I have more than 10 years of teaching experience. I understand the importance of IELTS for many students, and quite often students, they fail to achieve their required score, and that becomes very frustrating to achieve their goals. And I hope that's not going to happen for you. So that's the main aim of this course, to show you how well you should prepare for this exam. We've had students from different parts of the world, from Indonesia, from India, from Kazakhstan, from Uzbekistan, from Russia, from other parts of the world, from Mexico. I could go on. And quite often students are really happy. I'm not able to show all the reviews, but if you go to our website, you can find reviews, what our students say. And as you can see, we have Dr. Riznia, who's now in the UK. She's living in Hull. She's a practicing surgeon. She prepared with us, and she achieved her required score in her first attempt. Sushant was preparing by himself for a long time. Then he joined us, and he achieved a very high score. And as you can see, he says the course is affordable than what we have in India, he says, and way more effective. So that's what Sushant has to say. But anyway, let's get into business. So first of all, I would like to describe the structure of the course. So remember, today is your first lesson. Then tomorrow, you're going to work on our platform. It's an international platform. It's very interactive. The reading task and the listening task were created by Cambridge experts. So I'm pretty sure what you're going to learn there will be useful. And then on the third day, which is on Thursday, you're going to meet me again. So you're going to have a lesson with me on Thursday where I'm going to teach you how to achieve very high scores in speaking and writing. So once again, remember, the course is actually for 3 days. Today is your first lesson with me. Tomorrow, you're going to work on our platform. Actually, you can start immediately, even today, because soon after my lesson, I'm going to give you access to our platform where you will have interactive lessons, and then you can work on our platform tomorrow as well. And then the day after tomorrow, you're going to have my second lesson with me. It's going to be your third day. So you're going to have the second lesson on Thursday, same time. So please note it down. Don't miss it. So guys, I hope the course structure is clear for you all. Do you have questions? If you have questions, please write. So if you guys don't have questions, we're going to start with our first lesson. But before we do that, I would like to know each one of you. So guys, could you please tell me where you're from? Why do you need IELTS? What is the required scope? So would like to know each one of you. So would really appreciate if you can say like, hi, my name is, I'm from, I need IELTS for immigration. Maybe I want to enter a foreign university. So yes, would really appreciate if you could introduce yourself. Well, we won't provide a certificate because this is not like a course where we are able to provide, but it's more like a training course. So yes, we will not provide a certificate. The recording might be sent, yes. So we have from India, from Uzbekistan, Medina, hi. Most probably next week, I might visit Uzbekistan because I'm also kind of conducting a seminar next week. So that's great. So we have Dali from Morocco. We have Vanessa from Kuwait. We have Ulug, but Ulug, I don't know where you're from. Ulkar is from Azerbaijan. By the way, I love Baku very much. I've been there. I love the city, Baku. So Aziza, if you're hearing me, you're already with us. So you can, if you can hear me, we have started the webinar. So you're already in. So Ulig is also from Uzbekistan. Wonderful. Shafqat, my goal is German University. Philippines. Wow, I'm pretty sure it's too late now, but Angelo, but you're with us. It must be really late for you. But that's wonderful. And we have many students from Uzbekistan. And also we have Bushra from Dubai. That's great, guys. So Aziza from Uzbekistan, wonderful. So we have many students from Uzbekistan. That's great. Because you guys will also have special privileges because we're an official IELTS testing center in Uzbekistan as well. So that's great. And we have Nisha from Kuwait as well. Fine. And she wants to migrate to New Zealand. So guys, wonderful. It's always nice to know each and every student, because I'm a teacher. I like to feel my students. So that's great. And we have Jillian, I guess I hope I pronounced your name properly, from Kenya. Wow. Wow, that's great. And also from Simuzar from Azerbaijan. Simuzar, that's a beautiful name, from Azerbaijan. Fine, guys. So that's it. Wonderful. I want to make this session very useful for y'all. So I'm planning to kind of, make it an enlightening session. Let's start. Let's not waste our time. So remember, today I'm going to focus on the structure. So that's I'm going to show you what is IELTS. Then I'm going to teach you 4 essential skills which are important for reading and listening. Then I'm going to show you how to answer true, false, not given if you have time. And also we're going to do a bit of listening. Okay, so guys, let's start. So speaking about IELTS, remember it stands for International English Language Testing System. So it's the most popular language test in the world. Over 3.5 million candidates, they take this exam every year. Now, when students prepare for this exam, they fail to understand the true purpose. Some say it's all about the structure. Some they think, it's all about doing practice tests. Some even say whatever they learned while preparing for this exam will not be useful in the future. So, it's all about the structure. You learn some ways of speaking, but in your day-to-day life, you will not use it. It is not practical, but it's not true. Now, remember, if you achieve a very high score, that's why even for immigration or even for university admission, the average required score ranges between 6.5 and 7.5. So that's why if you achieve like a band 7, you prove that you can use English fluently in a professional environment. So the purpose of this exam is to show or is to certify that you can use English fluently in a professional environment. So that's why we say that IELTS is the most reliable language assessment tool. So it's the most objective way of assessing your level. So guys, if you achieve like a very good score, you prove that you know how to negotiate in English, you know how to structure your ideas. I'm going to show that in our speaking lesson on Thursday. If you achieve a very good score, you will prove that you have the ability to write business letters and analyze data. For example, if you're taking academic IELTS, that would be an option. That's why when you take academic IELTS, you have to describe graphs, bar charts, because the purpose there is to show that you have the ability to analyze. Then, if you achieve a very good score, you also prove that you have the ability to brainstorm in English. And if you achieve a very good score in listening and reading, you prove that you have all the essential skills. What do I mean by that? Now, remember, if you have a 7.5 or 8 in reading, for sure, you can understand the general idea by not reading every page or word by word if you have to read a document. Or, for example, if you have 8 for listening, you prove that you can attend a seminar or a lecture and you'll be able to summarize all the key points. So please understand the purpose, because that way you will feel motivated and also your preparation will become really effective. So that's the true purpose of this exam. Fine, guys. Now, looking at the exam, there are 4 sections. I also see some questions here. Quickly, let me go through. Shafqat is asking, how long will the lesson be? 90 minutes. 90 minutes for sure. I might go a bit further because we're going to do a lot today, guys. So it's going to be like for 90 minutes, but it's going to be very useful. That's for sure. Hassani, I'll answer your question a bit later, okay? So guys, let's start now. So there are 4 sections: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So which section is the easiest and which section could be the most challenging? Can you tell me? Which section is the easiest in IELTS and which section is the most difficult? Any wild guesses? Okay, some say listening is easy. Some say reading is easy. Okay, so I get different options here. Listening is easy. Some say speaking. Once Henry Ford, the inventor of the first car, Henry Ford, So he said, if you say you can, you're right. If you say you can't, you're right too. So yes, you know yourself much better. My point here is that if you read a lot, you will find reading much easier than those who don't. And also, you will find writing, you'll be able to improve your writing skills much faster. If you watch movies, if you listen to podcasts, if you watch documentaries in English, you will find IELTS listening much easier than those who don't, and you will improve your speaking skills much faster. So it's an obvious fact. We've done a lot of research, and based on our research, we've seen even those who play computer games quite often, they achieve very good scores in listening, and also they're quite fluent in speaking. I've seen a guy who was extremely fluent, and he told me that he improved his speaking skills only by playing computer games because he had to speak. So that overall exposure plays a crucial part. So basically, guys, develop good habits. Watch documentaries in English. Listen to BBC podcasts. Read every day. At least read for 20 minutes, because those things will add up. Those things will contribute towards achieving a very high score. So speaking about every section very quickly, remember, listening is the first section. It's going to be for half an hour. If you take the paper-based test, you will have 10 minutes extra to transfer the answers from the question booklet to your answer sheet. If you take the computer-based test, you will not have this extra time. So remember, if you take the paper-based test, you will have 10 minutes extra to transfer your answers from the question booklet to your answer sheet, but you will not have this extra time for the computer-based test. There are 4 parts, and each part has 10 questions. So altogether in listening, you will have 40 questions, and for every section, there'll be 10 questions. The sections become more difficult, with section 4 being the most difficult. Now, with section 1, section 2, and section 3, there will be a break in between. For example, they'll play the audio file, and in section 1, you will answer questions 1 to 5. Then you'll go through questions 6 to 10. Then they'll play the audio file, and then you'll answer questions 6 to 10. The same goes with section 2 and section 3, but with section 4, you will not have this break in between. So when they play the audio file, you need to answer all the questions from 31 to 40. Remember, the audio is played only once. So that's why when you go through the questions, you need to implement certain skills, and those skills you're going to learn today. So you'll be given time to read the questions before you listen and to check after you listen. So this time that you have, so they'll give you 20 seconds to go through the questions. They'll give you some time to go through your answers. After you answer those questions, you need to use that time effectively. You need to use that time wisely. That's a very important part. So that's about listening, guys. So while I explain, you can type your questions, and during the process, I'll answer your questions as well. So soon after listening, we have reading. Now, the reading part is actually going to be for 1 hour, 60 minutes. There'll be 3 passages. The first will be the easiest. The second will be more complex. And the last will be the most complex. So remember, the first passage is the easiest. So spend 15 minutes. The second passage becomes more challenging. Spend 20 minutes. The third passage is the most challenging. So spend 25 minutes. So you should spend 15, 20, 25. So that's how you should manage your time. 15, 20, 25. If you spend too much time on the first passage, if you spend more than 15 minutes, then you will not have enough time to kind of answer the third passage, answer the questions based on the third passage. So don't spend too much time on the first passage, because you will not have enough time to answer all the questions from the third passage. So quite often students, they mismanage their time. Quite often, they don't have enough time to answer all the questions. So pay attention to this formula. Now, if you're taking general IELTS for immigration and so on, maybe for your future job, that could be a requirement. The reading passages are a bit different. The reading section is completely different from academic reading. So instead of passages, you will have sections. So for the first section, you will have 2 small passages. For the second section, you will have 2 small passages. And for the third section, you will have 1 long passage. And also, guys, general reading is easier than academic reading. So general reading is easier than academic reading. So remember, in reading, you'll also have 40 questions. Like listening, for reading, you will have 40 questions. So unlike listening, for reading, you will not have time to add answers at the end. So it has to be done during the test. So if you're taking the paper-based test, you will not have extra time like in listening to transfer your answers from the question booklet to the answer sheet. So you need to write your answers on the question booklet during those 60 minutes because you'll not be given extra time to do that. Now, guys, remember, like in listening, in reading, you also have 40 questions, but in general IELTS, to achieve a 7, very quickly, so in general IELTS, to achieve a 7, you can make only 7 mistakes. So if you achieve 33 out of 40 in general IELTS, that is a 7. In academic IELTS, it should be 30 out of 40. So you can make 10 mistakes in academic IELTS, and still you can achieve a band 7. Now I'm speaking about reading. As for listening, guys, it's the same both for general and academic. You can make 10 mistakes to achieve a 7. So a 30 out of 40 is going to be a 7. Now, quite often students ask me, what kind of online resources should I depend on? Can you recommend me some websites? Guys, the first website you should visit is www.ielts.org. Now, that's the first website. That's the official IELTS website. Now, if you want to understand how the computer-delivered test is conducted, on this website, you can do some practice tasks. So they have some mock tests available for listening and reading. Have a go. Try it and see how you feel. And also, you can find a lot of information about the structure, how the exam will be conducted, how the examiner is going to assess, and also the band descriptor. So I'm pretty sure it will be useful. So guys, that's about reading. Let's move on to writing. So first you have listening, half an hour. If you take the paper-based test, you'll have 10 minutes extra. Soon after that, you will have reading for 60 minutes. And soon after reading, you will have writing. So the writing test lasts for 60 minutes. And remember, you'll need to complete 2 writing tasks, task 1 and task 2. So if you're taking academic IELTS, you are given a task based on graphs and processes. So if you're taking academic IELTS, you need to write a description based on a graph. So this could be a pie chart, it could be a bar chart, it could be a line graph. If you're taking general IELTS, you will have to write letters. So for task 1, you'll have to write formal, semi-formal, and informal letters. Now remember, for task 1, it should be not less than 150 words. That's the word limit. And for task 2, it should be not less than 250 words. So when you write essays, it should be not less than 250 words. Shafqat is asking whether academic IELTS is more difficult. Well, when it comes to reading, yes, academic IELTS is more challenging. And also when it comes to writing, yes, it is a bit more challenging. However, if you know how to approach every question type in reading, and if you do enough practice tests before the exam, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to achieve a very good score. Nothing is difficult unless we believe it's going to be difficult, Shafqat. So believe in yourself. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to cope with it. So remember, guys, I've already mentioned everything. So that's about writing. Writing is the most difficult section. The reason is it is a skill that we don't use very often, right? Now, how often do you write in your own native language? I'm pretty sure not that often. The second reason why IELTS writing is the most challenging, because, you know, the overall structure, the way we write essays is totally different from writing a story or a newspaper article. We need to structure our paragraphs properly. We need to make our writing style formal. So that's why, guys, it is a skill that requires a lot of practice. It requires a lot of practice. So let's move on to speaking now. Now, the good thing about IELTS speaking is that it's not going to be soon after writing. So you'll always have a break after writing before they start the speaking part. Now, in Uzbekistan, what we have is actually we have the computer delivered test, and we conduct the speaking part through Zoom. So it's called video call. So you will have the examiner from the UK. You will connect with the examiner through our PC. So it's going to be conducted at our exam center in Uzbekistan. So we also have that option. But in some exam centers, they also have this one-on-one, like, you know, so the examiner is going to be in front of you and they will ask questions. Anyway, the speaking part is going to be between 11 and 14 minutes. It really depends on you, and also depends on the examiner. Sometimes if the examiner feels you deserve a better score, he could spend more time with you and would ask more questions from part 3. So part 1 is always questions about yourself. Part 2 is a monologue. So remember, you'll be given a minute to prepare, and then you need to speak for 2 minutes. And part 3 will be questions based on general issues where you have to give your opinion, analyze, or predict. So that's part 3. Now, part 1, guys, you should not make it general. It's all about you. And the examiner is going to ask questions related to your profession, about your studies. If you're still a student, the examiner might ask questions about your university. The examiner can ask questions about your family. The examiner can ask questions about your hometown. So you need to be prepared. Now, in our paid courses on our platform, we teach you idioms, expressions, we share model answers. Above all, we assess your speaking. So you'll be recording your answers, and our experts, by the way, we also have examiners and ex-examiners in our team. They check your speaking answers and they provide feedback based on the marking criteria. So it's a very important part. So here, part 1, once again, it's all about you. Part 2, you will prepare for a minute, and then you need to speak maximum for 2 minutes. If you speak for more than 2 minutes, the examiner is going to interrupt and would move on to part 3. And part 3, questions based on general issues. Once again, in part 3, you're like a politician. You need to share your opinion. You need to analyze. You need to make a forecast. So that's part 3 for you. So guys, that's about each and every section. If you have questions, you can type. That's it, yes. Let's move on then. Yeah, I'm just trying to see whether we have questions here. I guess no, fine. So guys, let's move on to a very important skill, which is called paraphrasing. Now remember, IELTS is all about paraphrasing. Another name for this exam is the paraphrasing exam. So we also call it as the paraphrasing exam because we need to paraphrase in listening, we need to paraphrase in reading, we need to paraphrase in writing, and also we need to paraphrase in speaking. So it's also called the paraphrasing exam. So what is paraphrasing? Paraphrasing means expressing the same meaning in a different way. Now, this is done by replacing certain words with synonyms or by changing the word form and changing the structure of a sentence. So that is paraphrasing for you. So we have 3 ways of paraphrasing. So guys, look, we have an example here. The new iPhone 14 will be released in September. The launch of the new iPhone 14 will be in September. Now, as you can see in the second sentence, we have used the word launch instead of release, and we have used the noun form. That's why the launch, and we have changed the word order. The launch of the new iPhone 14 will be in September. So paraphrasing is a very important part in IELTS, because in listening, you have to paraphrase. In reading, you need to paraphrase. In writing, you need to paraphrase, and also in speaking. Fine, guys. So let's move on to some tasks. So there are 3 ways of paraphrasing. You can change the word form. Now, for example, if it's a noun, when you rewrite a sentence, you can use the verb form, and that way you can also change the word order. You can replace certain words with synonyms, or you can change the word order. Now look at the example here. It says, Yanni was the composer of Winds of Orchids. What if I use the verb form of composer? And what should be the answer here then? Like Yanni what? Number 2, she performed really well at the concert. So perform is actually the verb form. What if I use the noun form? What should be the answer here? Sarah and her friend had creative differences. Sarah and her friend. Difference is the noun form. I want the verb form. What should be the answer here? So can you give me the answers, guys? I'm going to wait, because this is a live lesson. You might hear me only after 30 seconds. So there will be a bit of a lag there. Please bear with me. Write your answer. Composer is the noun form. So Yanni, what should be the verb form here? She performed really well at the concert. She gave an excellent. What is the noun form of the answer? Sarah and a friend had creative differences. Difference is the noun form. In the second sentence, we need the verb form. What should be the answer here? Ulkar is giving the right answers. Well done, Nayab, Shafqat. Well done, guys. Very good. Firuza is trying to say something. Now, the last sentence, it says Sarah and her friend had creative differences. Had, it was in the past. So can we say Sarah and her friend differ creatively, or Sarah and her friend differed creatively? Which is the correct answer here? Is it differ or deferred? One word, we are trying to replace the, like, we are trying to convert the words to the other form. For example, noun to a verb, adjective to an adverb. So well done, guys. Here are the answers. So Yanni was the composer of Winds of Orchids. Yanni composed Winds of Orchids. She performed really well at the concert. She gave an excellent performance at the concert. Sarah and her friend had creative differences. Sarah and her friend differed creatively. Well done. Wonderful. Lovely. Right? So these are the answers. And I think that most of y'all got the answers correct. So that's wonderful. Now, that's the first way, right? Changing the word form, noun to a verb, adjective to an adverb, or the other way around. Now, yes, you might say this is not a big deal. It's very easy. But believe me, in IELTS, it matters a lot. It matters a lot. So the next one is replacing certain words with synonyms. Now, as you can see here, it says technology plays an important role in the education sector. Can you give me synonyms for important? What other words can we use instead of important? Significant, it's an option. Now, important is an adjective, and it's a word that is overused. It's pretty common. Now, if you use this word both in your speaking and in your writing at the exam, the examiners might not appreciate. So yes, we can use crucial, vital, essential, significant. Well done. Very good. Very good. So do you see, if you want to expand your vocabulary, always focus on the adjectives and the adverbs, then the verbs, then the nouns. That should be the sequence. Adjectives, adverbs, verbs, and nouns. So if you try to replace every noun with a synonym, then you might change the whole meaning. But that's the subject, right? So always remember, focus on the adjectives, then the adverbs, then the verbs, then the nouns. Now, whenever you read questions, now, for example, in listening, you read a question before you listen, and to understand the question properly, underline the adjectives and adverbs and the verbs, because when you listen, you might hear synonyms. The same goes with reading. When you read a question, if you see adjectives and adverbs, underline them, think about synonyms, because believe me, at the exam, you will always hear, so you'll always find different synonyms, different options, or maybe when you read the text, they might say it in a different way. So that's why it's very important. Fine. So guys, here are more options. So there are words which are in bold. So based on the context, can you give me synonyms for these words which are in bold? First one, smoking is bad for health. Now, I want you to type like this: bad, give me some expressions, but it should be related to this sentence context. It is a big problem. We must save the environment. Save. Children need. Well done. Smoking is harmful. Very good. What about big problem? What expressions can we use? Not good is an overused word, not that great, I would say. Injurious is irrelevant. It's not natural. You might not use it. Awful is informal. Dangerous, but there are better words, but I'll take it. Okay, what about the rest? Like big problem, save the environment. Children need more attention from their parents. Yeah, catastrophic depends, but I also like big problem, a massive or a major concern. I love the word concern, a challenge, an issue. Well done. Very good. Very good. Lovely. Lovely. Save, protect, or preserve. Well done. Okay, guys. So you see, smoking is bad or harmful or detrimental. It is a big problem, major concern, serious issue. We must save, we must protect, or we must preserve the environment. Children need, children require more attention from their parents. So children need, children require more attention from their parents. So well done, very good. So you guys gave some options. Now, remember, guys, the words you use will define your character in English. So that's why I said it's all about professional English. Now imagine you're at a meeting, you're speaking to your partners. And if you say, like, we went through your proposal and we have problems with certain points, you will sound rude. But if you say, we went through your proposal and we would like to discuss some concerns, or we would like to discuss some of our concerns, that would make you sound more professional. So the same goes in IELTS. Avoid using common words like big, bad, small, important, famous, right? So you need to use uncommon words, and it's very easy. In our paid courses, we actually teach you all the idioms and expressions on 12 IELTS topics. And you will have essay questions, speaking questions related to these topics. And that's why you need to expand your vocabulary, number one. Number two, if you want to expand your vocabulary, once again, focus on the adjectives, then the adverbs, then the verbs. Even in speaking, in IELTS speaking, quite often we have this question, is it important? For example, is singing important in your culture? Now, the examiner is not interested in hearing whether it's important or not, but he would see how you answer that question. So you can say, it is. So if the examiner asks, is singing important in your culture? You can say, it is. Singing has always been a crucial part in our culture. Singing has always been a crucial part in our culture, right? So that's a very crucial point. So ways to paraphrase. The third way is to use the passive voice. Now, we use the passive voice when we don't want to focus on who is doing the action, but who is receiving or experiencing the action. Look at the first one. The government should take immediate measures. We can say immediate measures should be taken by the government. Parents should teach children foreign languages at an early stage. Foreign languages should be taught to children at an early stage. Foreign languages should be taught to children at an early stage. So as you can see, the second example, we are focusing on the action. We are not mentioning who should be responsible or who is doing that action. So we use the passive voice when we want to give solutions. We use the passive voice to be diplomatic. We use the passive voice to be polite. So those are the reasons. So always know why and when we use, but in IELTS, it's one of the ways of paraphrasing. So guys, that's about paraphrasing. Now you know, let's revise. So there are 3 ways of paraphrasing. You can convert the word form, noun to a verb, adjective to an adverb. You can replace words with synonyms, or you can change the word order. So there are 3 ways of paraphrasing, and they are crucial. And believe me, in all 4 sections, you need to implement this skill. So that is paraphrasing for you all. Then, guys, let's focus on listening. Now, if you're preparing for the exam, listening is the first section you can achieve a band 9. We have prepared over 4,000 students quite often. And you can see, guys, and if you visit our website, you will see hundreds of results. We are the only online school when students achieve a 7, we give them a mug. We have this mug and we say, I have mastered IELTS. And quite often our students, they achieve 9 for listening and 9 for reading, because these sections, if you prepare well, you can really achieve a very high score. Anyway, coming to the point now. Now I'm going to show you what you should do to achieve a 9 in listening and reading. So step 1, expose yourself. I've already discussed that. So expose yourself to listening, listen to BBC podcast, watch documentaries. If you're a huge fan of Australia, but I grew up in Melbourne, and nowadays, I watch 60 Minutes Australia, because on the one hand, it shows the negative sides, things that we need to know, which is not publicly spoken. On the other hand, I think it's going to be a great experience for you all, and know how to approach every question type. So first, exposure. Second, you need to know how to approach every question type. So in listening, we have different question types. I'm going to show that a bit later. I'm pretty sure it will be useful. Then do at least 4 practice tests. Guys, if you have the exam tomorrow, don't start doing practice tests today. I believe that if you have the exam tomorrow, you should be starting doing your practice tests at least 2 weeks before, because that's an important part. You need to kind of really know how to approach every question type, and then you need to do practice tests, and then constantly assess your progress. I always tell my students, do not be critical when you make mistakes. Try to be analytical. So don't be critical, be analytical. In other words, let's say that, you prepared, then you did your first practice test, you made 20 mistakes, you got 20 out of 40. Are you going to complain? Are you going to become frustrated? No. Try to be analytical. Try to analyze. See where you went wrong. In which section did you make most of the mistakes? Is it section 3? Is it section 4? What could go wrong? What could have happened? What could be the reason, right? So you need to understand that, because that way you will know what should be done. And next time when you do your next practice test, I'm pretty sure you will not make so many mistakes. You will see a progress. Is this my advice? No. Now, I have worked with the British Council for the past 3 years very closely. We used to work very closely here in the Eastern European region. And once an expert told us a very interesting point. They said, if a teacher keeps telling their students just to do practice tests, especially when they make too many mistakes, it is a crime. Why? Because, if they don't analyze, if they don't understand why they're making those mistakes, they will continue making the same mistakes over and over, and students will become frustrated. So that's why, guys, practice tests are important. And apart from that, when you do practice tests, try to be analytical, try to learn from your mistakes, because I believe it will be crucial. So like I said, you need to become familiar with the question types. So these are the question types you will have at the exam: sentence completion, multiple choice questions, matching. You need to complete a plan, a map, a diagram. You need to locate information. That's actually not for listeners, for reading. Then you need to kind of, complete a form, note, table, flow chart. You need to also deal with short answer questions. So those are the question types you will have in listening. So to master listening, to achieve a band 9, these are the essential skills: paraphrasing. You need to identify keywords. You need to predict the missing words, and you need to identify distractors. So paraphrasing, you need to identify keywords, you need to predict the missing words, and you need to identify distractors. So these are the 4 essential skills. I hope you know these skills. If you don't know these skills, if you don't implement them, then to achieve a very high score in listening is going to be rather challenging. So that's why, guys, we're going to do a bit of listening, right? So I told you I'm going to do a bit of listening. Let's focus on short answer questions. Now, you will get short answer questions in section 2 and also in section 3, sometimes even in section 1. So it's pretty common. So you need to know how to deal with this question type. So step 1, always read the instruction carefully. Here, the instruction says, answer the questions below, write no more than 3 words. That means if you write 4 words, it will be incorrect. If you write 2 or 1 less than 3 words, that would be fine. So pay attention to that word limit. Then, guys, like I told you, you'll always have 20 seconds to go through the questions. So what you need to do, you need to read every question quickly, identify keywords. Now, keywords are words which will be important for us to understand the question better. So look at question number 11. It says, what was the Sea Life Center previously called? What was the Sea Life Center previously called? Can you tell me what words would you underline in order to understand the question better? What are the words which are important for us here? What was the Sea Life Center previously called? Can you tell me what words you would underline to understand the question better? So Sea Life Center, what words? Mm-hmm. Well, yes, previously called, but also I would mention Sea Life Center. So remember, keywords are the subject, verbs, adjectives, adverbs. These are keywords. The subject, the verb, if there are adjectives, underline them, and also the adverbs. If you see there are adjectives and adverbs, always think about synonyms. So well done. Sea Life Center, previously called. Those are the keywords. Sea Life Center, previously called. Well done. So I will always underline Sea Life Center, previously called. So whenever you see adjectives and adverbs, think about synonyms or think about how to say it in a different way. So guys, previously called, how would you say it in a different way? So for example, you can say initially it was called, or you can say it used to be called, or we are not called X anymore. Because in listening, they will always try to confuse you. So when you underline the subject and when you see there are adjectives and adverbs, always remember when you listen, they might say it in a different way. So they might say that the Sea Life Center was used to be called, or the Sea Life Center is not called X anymore, or the Sea Life Center was initially called X. So whenever you see adjectives and adverbs, underline them, because when you listen, you might hear it in a different way. Fine, guys. Number 12, what is the newest attraction called? What is the newest attraction called? What words would you underline? Come on. I want you all to be very quick. What is the newest attraction called? Yes, it used to be called Shafqat. Yes, it used to be called X. So newest attraction called. What is the newest attraction called? What words would you underline? Well done. Newest attraction called, right? Newest attraction called. Yes. So newest is an adjective. Newest is an adjective. So you might hear the latest, the most recent. You see, the latest, the most recent, you might. So, you know, whenever there are adjectives, always be prepared to hear a different way. Maybe a synonym, maybe a different word order, right? So always be prepared, because they're not going to be that obvious. They're not going to say like, you know, the newest attraction is called, right? So you need to kind of keep that in mind. Well done. Very good. When is the main feeding time? So let me go through. When is the main feeding time? So the keywords are main feeding time, main feeding time. Not every time we are focused on the main feeding time. And remember, they will try to confuse you. There will be distractors. What can you do with a VIP ticket? Now I would underline what can do VIP ticket. What special event will the Sea Life Center arrange for you? So what special event Sea Life Center arrange? So arrange, we can say organize. Where will the petition for animal conservation be sent to? Where will the petition for animal conservation be sent to? Where? Petition, animal conservation, sent to. What can you use to test what you've learned? So what? Use to test what you've learned. So whenever there are verbs like arrange, we can say organize, set up. So they might use different different options here as well. Fine, guys. So I've explained the steps, but let me revise. First of all, read the instruction carefully. During those 20 seconds, you need to identify keywords. Keywords are adjectives, adverbs, the subject, right? And the verb. If there are adjectives and adverbs, think about synonyms or try to say it in a different way, because that's how you will hear. The more you do that, the easier it becomes to understand the correct answer, to identify the correct answer. And then, guys, listen carefully and answer the questions. Sometimes some people say, what if I get a bit distracted? If you feel like you couldn't identify the correct answer for the first question, don't worry, move on to the second one. Because if you try to spend time, you might lose the answer for the second question too. So my suggestion is, in case you get distracted or maybe you couldn't identify, just don't panic. Pay attention to the next one. Okay, fine, guys. So I'm going to play the audio file. I might switch off the camera just to make sure that the connection is stable. So let's do it then. I'm going to play the audio file. Let's do it. Here we go.
Recording 44. You will hear a guide talking about a sea life center. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 17.
So this is where you have 20 seconds to go through all the questions. And here we go.
Okay, so hi everybody and welcome to the Sea Life Centre. Before you start on your tour, I'd just like to give you some information about things to look out for as you go. Well, first of all, I guess some of you may have been here before and may be surprised to see the name has changed. We're not called World of Water anymore. Since the beginning of this summer, we've been renamed, and we've also made a few other changes. However, the main attractions like the aquarium, the crocodiles, the penguins, and so on are still here. But we have a new restaurant and picnic area, and the latest thing that we have, and it was only finished last week, is the splash ride. This is an exciting new area of the centre and is pretty scary. And of course, you do get a bit wet, so make sure you're not wearing your best clothes. As I said, the main attractions are still here. And the most popular thing that everyone wants to see is feeding time, especially for the crocodiles and the seals. We used to have the main feeding time in the afternoon at around 3 p.m. But we found that some of the animals got a bit hungry waiting until then, and so we now have it at noon. They seem much happier with the new time, although it's a bit difficult to know what they're thinking. Now, I'd like to mention something new that we've introduced this year that we're very excited about. It's called a VIP ticket. The VIP ticket costs an extra £2 per person, and you will be amazed at what it allows you to do. With this, you'll be allowed to feed the sharks. Now, I know that for some people, this might be quite a frightening thing to do, but it is perfectly safe. For those of you who are a bit unsure, we do have a video you can watch to see what happens. It's a great experience, and your friends will be very impressed. Speaking of friends, I'd just like to remind you that the Sea Life Centre will be more than happy to organise a birthday party for you and your family and friends. If you need more details, you can speak to me afterwards, and there are also forms at the entrance that you can fill in. I'd also like to bring your attention to the good work that the Sea Life Centre is doing in support of animal conservation. I'm sure you're all aware of the worrying situation with a large number of species facing extinction. Here at the Sea Life Centre, we're taking action by asking as many people as possible to sign a petition. Once we have over 5,000 signatures, we are planning to send it to the government in the hope that more people will begin to take it seriously. Right, well, there's obviously a lot going on at the centre and a lot of things to discover. At all the attractions, there is helpful information, so please read as much as you can, and if you want to see what you've remembered, please do the quiz after your visit. There are no prizes, of course, but I'm sure you'll be surprised by how much you've learnt.
So guys, now you can type your answers, right? Let me see. I hope it was clear. If needed, I might play the audio file again, but I would like to see your answers. So what's the answer for the first one? Okay, so Feruza has typed her answers. Feruzan, the answer for number 15, what special event? A party, but what party? But the rest are really great. So here are the answers, and let me play the audio file again, because I see that some of y'all got all the answers correct, but some are struggling a bit, but that's natural. You know, you need to become familiar. It can happen to anyone. But yes, the first answer is World of Water. The answer for number 12 is Splash Ride. So I see that Feruza missed it. Okay, Splash Ride. Number 13, At Noon. You know, there was a distractor for number 13, right? That's why I said you need to pay attention to distractors. She said it used to be at 3 p.m., but then they understood that the animals became hungry, and that's why they started to do it a bit earlier. So at noon, that means 12 p.m. Feed sharks. If you didn't use the article, that's also fine. Well done, very good. Sri Devi, she got all the answers correct. Bushra, Feed the Sharks, birthday party, government quiz. But birthday party and time, Bushra hasn't mentioned. Yes, so some of you all got all the answers correct. Some of you all got a few mistakes, but that's how it is. It's always okay to make mistakes, and we learn from our mistakes. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to play the audio file again, and I'm going to explain why these answers are the correct ones. Okay, so let's just bear with me. I'm going to play the audio file again quickly, and I'm going to explain while the audio is being played. Okay.
Okay, so hi everybody and welcome to the Sea Life Centre. Before you start on your tour, I'd just like to give you some information about things to look out for as you go. Well, first of all, I guess some of you may have been here before and may be surprised to see the name has changed. We're not called World of Water anymore.
You see, so we are not called World of Water anymore. So the name has changed. So we are not called World of Water anymore. So that means it used to be called World of Water, right? So that's why I said, like, you know, previously it used to be. So we just kind of need to pay attention to these keywords.
Since the beginning of this summer, we've been renamed, and we've also made a few other changes. However, the main attractions like the aquarium, the crocodiles, the penguins, and so on are still here. But we have a new restaurant and picnic area, and the latest thing that we have, and it was only finished last week, is the Splash Ride.
You see how they confuse you, right? They say that we have a new picnic area and a restaurant, but the latest thing that we've added. Now, that's why the keywords are so important, my dear students. Do you see the keywords, the subject, right? The newest attraction. This is where students get confused. And if you can get these principles properly, then it will be easier for you all, even with more challenging tasks.
This is an exciting new area of the centre and is pretty scary. And of course, you do get a bit wet. So make sure you're not wearing your best clothes. As I said, the main attractions are still here. And the most popular thing that everyone wants to see is feeding time, especially for the crocodiles and the seals. We used to have the main feeding time in the afternoon at around 3 p.m. But we found that some of the animals got a bit hungry waiting until then, and so we now have it at noon.
You see, it used to be at 12 p.m., 3 p.m., right? But then they understood the animals became hungry. So that's why they decided to do it at noon, 12 p.m. So guys, that's how you should focus on it. Pay attention to distractors. I'm not going to play the whole audio file because I think it might kind of, take our time a lot. So I'm going to move on to the reading part, but I think the principles I've mentioned should be clear for you all. So it should be paraphrasing, identifying keywords, predicting the missing words, and identifying distractors. So these are the 4 essential skills that you need to implement, and with time, you will learn. And anyway, today, remember, I'm going to give you access to our interactive platform where you'll be doing more listening, and over there, you will learn more. So I'm pretty sure it'll come handy. So guys, let's move on to reading. So when it comes to reading, there are 4 essential skills you need to master. Those are skimming, scanning, paraphrasing, and identifying keywords. So you see that in listening, we need to paraphrase, we need to identify keywords. In reading, it's the same. We need to focus on paraphrasing, we need to identify keywords, but of course, we need to also focus on skimming and scanning. Now, a month ago, I conducted a workshop in Dubai, and I was very surprised. One student asked me, like, sir, do we need to skimming? Do we need to kind of really implement these skills like skimming and scanning? Are these skills important? I was really shocked because, this is part of the syllabus. These skills are essential. So remember that if you want to achieve a very high score, you need to master these skills. Now, when it comes to reading, guys, these are the question types: matching heading, true, false, not given, yes, no, not given, multiple choice questions, summary completions, short answer questions, sentence completions, and locating information in a paragraph. So you need to know how to approach every question type. That's why I said, like, let's say you learn how to approach every question type, and then when you do a complete practice test, you can analyze your progress. Now, for example, you do a complete practice test. Let's say you made 15 mistakes. Try to understand in which question type you made most of the mistakes. That way, you will understand how to minimize mistakes with that particular question type. And when you learn, when you sharpen your skills, I'm pretty sure next time when you do a practice test, you will not make so many mistakes. So these are the question types, guys. And today, I'm going to teach you how to answer true, false, not given. So tell me, are you ready for the challenge? If you are, let's start. I hope you're ready. So I'm going to teach you step by step how you should approach this question type. So guys, remember that first of all, when you read the instruction, it'll look like this. It says, do the following statements agree with the information given in the text below? In boxes 1 to 6 on your answer sheet, write true if the statement agrees with the information, false if the statement contradicts the information, not given if there is no information on this. So once again, you read the statement, and when you read the text, and if you see that the information that you find in the text supports the statement, it's true. If it opposes the statement, it's false. If you can't find any piece of information from the text based on the statement given, it's going to be not given. Okay, so guys, let's start, but don't rush. You need to wait till I explain. So first of all, in a true, false, not given, you never read the passage or the paragraph. You always start with the statements. So look at statement number 1. It says you can work through parts of a course more than once. You can work through parts of a course more than once. What I would do here is I would underline keywords. Now we know what are keywords today. I mean, keywords are subject, verb, adjectives, and adverbs. So here it says you can work through parts of a course more than once. So I would underline work through parts of a course more than once. And then I would rephrase it. So I would say it in my own way in English. So I would say, like, you can repeat a section of the course many times. That's paraphrasing, right? You can work through parts of a course more than once. That means you can repeat any section of the course many times. So now, based on this, look, the subject is course, part, course. Based on these words, can you read the first 3 lines and tell me whether it's true, false, or not given? Is it true, false, or not given? Can you read the first 3 lines and tell me whether it's true, false, or not given? The statement says you can work through parts of a course more than once. Is it true, false, or not given? Parts of a course. Well done. Well done. Very good. It's true, right? It says because they are flexible, all our courses are taken online using a computer, so you can work through the course at your own speed and go back to any session whenever you want to. So do you see, guys? You first need to underline the keywords, say it in your own way, in your own words, because that will help you to understand the question better. Then locate the information and then read carefully. Very good. Lovely. So we have made the first step. Next one. Number 2, it says the number of courses offered by Learn With Us has increased enormously. The number of courses offered by Learn With Us has increased enormously. So I would underline the keywords. Don't rush. Number of courses, Learn With Us increased enormously. We have an adverb, enormously. That means significantly, or maybe that word has a lot of meaning. Number of courses increased enormously. That means from maybe 5 to 100, maybe 100 to 1,000. We need to see an enormous increase. And the keyword, the verb, increased. Now, when you read the text, now read further. Don't start from the beginning, because in true, false, not given, the information is sequenced based on the statement given. So if you find the answer for the first one in the first paragraph, then the second one could be in the second paragraph. So that's how it is. So the number of courses offered by Learn With Us has increased enormously. Read the statement further and see if you can find this information, like increased enormously. Do they say that we have increased our courses, or we have doubled or tripled the number of courses we offer? Do you see such information when you read further? Do you see any such information where they say that we have doubled the number of courses we offer, or we have tripled, or like, we used to offer 10 courses, but now we offer 10,000 courses? That's an increase. Do you see such information? Okay. Okay. So yes, guys, wonderful, wonderful. The answer is not given, not given. The answer is not given. I'm really happy that you guys are getting it right. So yes, it's not given. You see, it says we offer hundreds of courses in a whole range of subjects, from reading, writing, and math to business and management. But they don't speak about increase. They offer hundreds, but we don't know whether they have increased. We can't find such information here. Very good. Lovely. So if you guys are so great, I mean, you guys are fantastic, no doubt. It's a compliment. Let's do number 3 and number 4. Okay, look at number 3. It says, many staff members have worked through a Learn With Us course themselves. Many staff members have worked through a Learn With Us course themselves. That means they have also taken this course. They also studied in this course. Do you find such information? So many staff members work through a Learn With Us course themselves. Number 4, it says you have to pay to take a Learn With Us course. That means it's not for free. You have to pay. Doesn't matter how much, it's not for free. Is it true or false? So number 3, number 4, take your time, read carefully. Pay attention to the keywords. When you type your answers, please mention the number, like number 3, maybe it's false or not given. Number 4, it's true or not given, please. Guys, number 4 is very tricky. Once again, it says you have to pay to take a Learn With Us course. That means the Learn With Us courses are not free. It's not free. I'm going to give you a small hint. Guys, even if you have to pay $1, even if it's a discounted price, they say like, I'm going to give you a 99% discount. Is it for free? No, because you still pay 1%, right? So please attention to that. That's where true, false, not given is a bit tricky. Look, I'm very happy you guys got the answer for the third one correct. But at the same time, I'm a bit sad that most of y'all didn't get the answer for the fourth one properly, because, you know, the correct answer for number 4 is true. It's true. Number 3, not given. Yes. So look, number 3, I agree. It says many staff members have worked through a Learn With Us course themselves. It's not given, right? Because they didn't study. Because here it says, step 1, have a chat with a friendly member of staff in one of our 1,500 Learn With Us centers around the country. They can advise you on the most suitable course. They'll also work out whether you qualify for funding. So there's nothing about they also studied in these courses. No such information. It's not given. So number 3 is not given. Absolutely. Number 4, it also says they'll also work out whether you qualify for funding, whether you will qualify for scholarships, so that you won't have to pay the full fee for the course. So that you don't have to pay the full fee, but you pay partly. You don't pay the full amount, but you do pay some amount. So even if you pay $1 or maybe a pound or a rupee, whatever, it's not free, right? Free means you don't pay a penny. So this is where sometimes people get a bit tricked by true, false, not given. But hey, it's fine. You guys know how to deal with it. So my dear students, remember, true, false, not given. What are the steps? Write it down or join us, because on our platform, everything is written. So remember, first, read the statement. Number 2, try to identify keywords. Keywords are adjectives, adverbs, verbs, and the subject. Then, guys, before you read the text, try to rephrase the statement with your own words. This way, you will understand the statement better. Then, based on the subject, it could be the name, maybe it could be the date, it could be the noun, right? Try to scan the passage. Don't read the whole passage, try to scan. And then try to locate the information, read it carefully, and then see whether it's true, false, or not given. By the way, guys, we have a wonderful YouTube channel. It's called Master IELTS. It's not IELTS Master, it's Master IELTS. We have 12,000 subscribers. Subscribe today. We have a lot of videos there. And on our channel, we've shown how to answer true, false, not given. Watch that video. You will understand it better. So guys, that's it for today. So tomorrow, you're going to have access to our platform. So I'm going to actually give you access to our platform. Let me do it now. And I think my team would help me here, because again, I think, So the access to the platform will appear now, guys. So please register on our platform where you will, 1 second, maybe this one is, no, it's not the one, guys. It's not the one. I'm sorry. This is not the one. This is not the link. It's actually the Zoom link. I'm sorry. So the link will appear. The link will appear. So you will register on our platform and you will have 4 lessons. You will have 4 lessons on our platform. So for listening, you will learn how to complete tables and diagrams. You will learn how to complete tables and diagrams. For reading, you will learn how to match headings. So it's very interactive. Let me come back to listening. So in listening, guys, you will learn how to complete tables and diagrams. You will read the instruction. You will read tips. Then you will listen and you will answer questions. Okay, so that's about listening. So please work on the platform. You will always have my team. They will support you in case you have questions. Do write. There is a section where you can contact us. So please do it. Reading, you will learn how to match headings. So you will learn how to structure paragraphs. You will learn how to read a paragraph very quickly. And then you will learn how to match headings. And you will also have a beautiful video lesson. Then for writing, guys, we don't have it here. For writing, you will learn how to make your writing style more formal, how to make it impersonal, how to avoid using spoken words. So it's a very useful lesson too. And for speaking, you will have a lesson on leisure activities. So how to use idioms. There are model answers. You will hear some of our examiners asking questions. So I'm pretty sure you will find it useful. So guys, tomorrow you're going to work on our platform. You can register now. We will also send you an email. I think it will be helpful for y'all. I'm just seeing how I can connect the, so I think it's going to be fine. So tomorrow you will have access to it. So it will be useful. Then guys, on Thursday, it's going to be our second lesson. So on Thursday, guys, you're going to meet me again live, same time. So it's going to be on Thursday, the same time we started our lesson today. I'm going to show you how to achieve a 7+ in speaking and writing. And I'm going to show how examiners are going to assess your writing. And I'm going to reveal some untold facts, some useful points. And believe me, you will not find it anywhere. So I think as a representative, what I'm going to share will be very useful. It's fair. And I'm pretty sure you will understand how to achieve a very high score, both in speaking and in writing. By the way, you can see the link. As you can see here, it says open the lessons. So click this link below. If you're watching my lesson now, you can see the open the lessons. Do you guys see it? Click it. Immediately, you will have access to all the lessons that I explained. So guys, work effectively. Important. If you want to achieve a very high score, discipline a lot. Consistency matters a lot. In life, when we fail to achieve things, we cannot come up with excuses. So I would be very happy when you join my second lesson and when you say, Nash, I completed all the tasks on the platform. I'd be very happy to hear that. And if you guys tell me that on Thursday, I'm going to gift you my ebook. So I have a beautiful ebook, by the way, related to speaking. It's called the IELTS Speaking Guide, where there are a lot of model answers. It shows you how to answer different question types. So that ebook is going to be free if you join my lesson on Thursday, and also if you complete all the tasks on the platform. So guys, that's it for today. Thank you very much for joining our lesson. I hope you found it useful. Do you have questions? If you have, I'll be more than happy to answer your questions now. So you can ask questions related to IELTS about listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Maybe whatever question that you have in mind, you can put it out. Okay, guys, so if you don't have questions, like I said, the lesson is going to be for 90 minutes, right? So we'll end it for today. Like I said, I'm looking forward to teaching you guys day after tomorrow, Thursday, same time. Until then, it's goodbye for now. Have a great evening, guys. Good luck.
Так, меня слышно?
Да.
Да, все хорошо. Все сделали, все провели.
Ага.
Отлично. Знаешь, еще в следующий раз, вот когда прощаетесь, чуть-чуть подождите, потому что там задержка идет, и немножко как бы связь обрывается. Это не критично, просто на всякий случай потом. Ну, то есть
Мгм.
завершили там, до свидания, и там до 20 посчитали, и тогда кнопочку завершения вебинара. Вот так лучше.
Хорошо.
Все, супер, вы большой
Всё.
молодец, прям вообще
Спасибо.
очень здорово все было. Я, учитывая, что английский знаю на чисто интуитивном уровне, мне было интересно, супер.
Спасибо. Я просто думаю, вот это вебинар лучше, чем предыдущий, поэтому, когда мы будем сделать вот это живой, ну, какой запись, лучше вот это вебинар, Ольга.
Хорошо,
Потому что я,
да,
я
хорошо.
здесь reading тоже закончил. Все, да.
Хорошо, да, сделаем из этого, все отлично.
Хорошо. И спасибо вам, вы много сделали, я очень благодарен за вас. Всё, что
Ну,
вы делали.
нам надо продать. Вы
Хорошо,
помните,
посмотрим.
у нас продажи впереди.
Посмотрим, получается, да, все. Спасибо, Ольга,
Все,
спасибо. До
спасибо, до
свидания.